joining us now to talk about a very creative Republican plan for simplifying the tax code is Congressman Kevin Brady. He's chairman of the Tax Writing House Ways and Means Committee. Congressman, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, Doctor. Thanks for having me.
I've heard of the tax plan you folks have put together. I want to ask you the process right now. Has it cleared the Ways and Means Committee? Has it cleared the House? What's the status of that bill right now?
Yeah, thank you very much. We just unveiled the blueprint on Friday, and what we're laying out is a very pro-family, pro-growth tax code that also busts up the IRS. And the goal here is to create more jobs here in the local economy. It is to simplify the code, to make it so fair and simple it actually can be filed on a postcard for most Americans. And then we want to make sure that we bust up the IRS so that it's actually working for Americans, not against us. And if we do that, one, I think we can rid of this second-rate economy where so many salaries are flat, where millions of qualified workers can't find a full-time job, and America keeps falling behind. We get weaker, and our foreign competitors get stronger. We want to do the opposite. So this is very much a pro-American tax code as well.
Well, I love what you're doing. Let's start with business. Apparently, the American is the highest tax. When they get through the paying the federal tax, they have to pay state taxes, and we become the highest tax country in the world. What are you doing with business taxes for starters?
Yeah, one, we make sure Washington takes less of what our local businesses earn so they can invest in the local economy rather than send their money and grow Washington's economy. So we propose the lowest business rates in more than 100 years for businesses, whether they're large or small, family-owned or corporations, because we know that's key to growth. The other thing is, for the first time, we stopped taxing American businesses here at home, and then under the current law, we tax them when they compete and win around the world and try to bring those profits home to invest in our local communities and jobs and research and manufacturing. We're the only country to tax them. So we stopped doing that for the first time in history. Then also for the first time in history, we stopped taxing what is made in America, and we tax the imports that are coming in. So for the first time, our made in America products will be competitive here and around the world, and we're removing every incentive for a company to move themselves, their manufacturing or their jobs to some other country. So this is very strongly in support of more jobs here in our country.
Well, the current tax code, you've got one type of tax for corporations, then there are partnerships and other corporate forms, business forms. Are you going to do the same? Is that the idea in this new tax plan?
Yeah, they're very close. In fact, we cut taxes for both corporations and then the others, what we call pass-throughs, which could be mom and pops or partnerships, as you said. And so we cut those rates to the lowest in nearly 100 years as well, because we think it's important that those jobs and those businesses grow as well. And we do that. Again, there are a lot of firsts in history in our blueprint, but in the past it's been hard to separate the income of Bill Gates from the income of Bill, the local printer. And so Bill, the local printers, had to pay higher rates. We end that, and we lower the rates dramatically for our local businesses. And for the first time in history, we allow them to write off from their taxes immediately all that new equipment, the buildings, the new trucks, that new energy, oil well they create, that new manufacturing plant. We allow them to immediately, an unlimited way, write off those investments. That may, Dr. Robertson, be the most pro-growth, pro-jobs part of this blueprint.
So they won't be expensed over a period of years and depreciated. You just immediate write-off of a new investment. That's a tremendous job creator. You know,
it really is.
The tax code is just riddled with exceptions. You know, the lobbyists have been at it for years, and they have little cutouts and carve-outs for privileges for this, that, and the other. You're doing away with a lot of that stuff, aren't you? You have to in order to get this thing flat.
Yeah, we really are. Since President Reagan reformed the code, it's just gotten more and more complex. In fact, on average, one new tax law a day over the last decade. So what families can keep up with that? Which small businesses can keep up with that? The answer is no one. And so we basically go all in for growth on jobs, and for families, we go all in for simplicity. In fact, we've been listening. The American public who've told us for years, why can't we have a code so simple and so fair that it could fit on a postcard? And Washington always sort of dismissed that as that can never happen. Well, guess what? It can happen. And that's what we're proposing, exactly that, a tax code so simple it could fit on a postcard. And we think the American public is going to speak out, we hope, in support of that simple, fair approach.
Well, there was one thing in the code that Karl Marx liked right much. It's called the death tax. I understand you're taking that away.
Yeah, it is. I lead the coalition in Washington and across the country to end the death tax. So for the first time since it was established in 1916, we permanently end it. It's the most immoral tax on the books. It hits the wrong people at the wrong time for the wrong reasons. It's the #1 reason family-owned farms and businesses aren't passed down to their kids and grandkids. So we end it, which I think for a lot of Americans is going to be a big sigh of relief.
Well, yeah, I can hear a shout of praise going forth from the American people on this tax plan, but what's going to be the fate when it hits Congress? Will it go through the Republican Congress? Will it pass the Senate? I mean, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, well, we're starting with the American public, and the point House Republicans are making is this is not our tax code. This is yours, America. So if you want more jobs, speak up. If you want a simple and fair postcard, speak up. If you no longer want to fear the IRS, speak up. Because the only way that we can make such game-changing reforms and to really blow through all the Washington special interests, if Americans speak up. I'm confident it'll be supported by House Republicans, and we intend to listen to the American people through the rest of the year. As we finish writing this, we intend, under our Speaker, Paul Ryan, to hold a vote to advance this tax reform, and it would be incredibly helpful if we have a Republican Senate and a Republican in the White House to sign this bill.
Well, you know, Donald Trump could win running on a platform like this. Is he on board yet, or has anybody talked to him?
Yeah, not yet, but we've been talking to his tax advisors who are very much supportive of exactly the pro-growth, pro-family type of approach we're taking. And so I think it'd be terrific if Republicans and our nominee, Mr. Trump, were united behind one major tax reform. I think it would send the right signal and certainly make it harder to divide the party on this.
What would you like our audience to do? People are watching right now, and if they're like me, they're saying this is a tremendous tax plan. How are they going to get their voices across?
Speak out. Dr. Robertson, you're so good at this. But have them speak out. Have them call or email or text their local congressman and senator. Tell them we want that postcard. We want that pro-family tax reform. Act on it now. I think, again, the only way we can prevail is the American public has a say in this tax code, and they use their voice starting this morning.
Well, Congressman, I applaud you on what you're doing and your colleagues. I hope this sails through the Congress and it gets to be a veto-proof majority, so the president probably veto it. Maybe not. Maybe he'll sign it. But we'll see. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you, Doctor. My pleasure. Thank you.
Kevin Brady, he represents the Houston area of Texas, a Republican. Chairman.
I just want to raise my voice. Hallelujah.
Yeah, the whole American people